What are you watching these days? And in particular, what news are you watching? When I wake up and am making breakfast, I listen to NPR. And I happen to notice that since the COVID-19 thing started, it seems like their coverage of it has expanded more and more so until it seems like any time I turn it on, what I hear is COVID-19. And as you might imagine, it's not good news. Now, I think that if I went to any other news media, MSNBC or Fox or whatever, it's the same thing. They're all broadcasting about COVID-19. Definitely, we need to keep abreast on developments as the virus runs its course. But I am concerned that a steady grist of this can have a very, very negative effect on us in terms of our mental, emotional, and our spiritual well-being. What's the solution? Years ago, there was a motivational speaker named Zig Ziglar, and he used to talk about the effect of negative thinking. And he used to say, what you put in is what you get out. So negative thoughts tend to bring out negative thoughts, emotions, speech even. His solution was to concentrate on the pure, the powerful, and the positive. And I think we get some great ways to do that in general, and especially when we turn to Scripture. So let me just offer a couple of texts to think about in terms of guarding our spiritual well-being. And the first is from Psalm 27. Here's the first 5 verses. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When evil men advance against me to devour my flesh, when my enemies and my foes attack me, they will stumble and fall. Though an army besiege me, here we could actually substitute for army, though COVID-19 besieges us, my heart will not fear. Though war break out against me, even then I will be confident. One thing I ask of the Lord, this is what I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord and to seek him in his temple. For in the day of trouble he will keep me safe in his dwelling. He will hide me in the shelter of his tabernacle and set me high upon a rock. The key verse for me on that is verse 4, the end of that, where the psalmist says that he wants to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord and to seek him in his temple. So that is all about focusing on God and God's goodness and all the things that God's done for us in the past. And we're thinking particularly of our school, how God has been so faithful to us since Dr. Porter founded it 150 years ago. And to seek God in his temple. Now for the psalmist, that was Solomon's temple. That's long gone. But there's still places that we can seek God. God can be found everywhere. Perhaps you've got a room in your house that's quiet and set up for you to just be apart from it all and to seek God. Or perhaps you've got a beautiful garden where you can get outside, someplace like that. There's lots of places to seek God in his temple. Let me turn to the second text, and this is from Paul's letter to the Romans, chapter 12, verse 2, where Paul says, do not be conformed any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Do not be transformed any longer to the pattern of this world. Now, Paul's talking about a larger issue, but I think it's directly applicable to us. You could say, don't be transformed by the mainline media, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. How do you do that? How do you renew your mind? How do you take your mind away from what's going on in the world around us and renew it? That's where we see such a good example in that psalm that we read just a moment ago. So be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And you can do that in any number of scriptures, and I hold out Psalm 27 as a great way to do that. So keep up with the news, but don't be fixated on it. God is going to get us through it. Focus on him.